In the laboratory, when the presence of minerals is to be analyzed, the exact location for taking samples has been determined. The operator's first task is to set up and secure the equipment in the correct position. Exploratory drilling can then safely be performed to deliver the required samples. To set up and adjust the machine, first loosen the clamp fasteners on both sides of the mounting frame. The drill can now slide freely in both directions. Start with the screws at the rotation unit. When these are loose, install the bracket to secure the rotation unit and then loosen the remaining screws. Now you can slide the feed boom under the rotation unit to obtain the correct position in relation to the working area. Movement is made using the drill feed function to obtain a stable and controlled movement. In the next step, disengage the support leg so the feed boom can be adjusted to the correct angle. The front clamps are loosened when the feed boom is to be lifted at the front end. With the selector level in the tilt cylinder position, the feed boom is raised or lowered using the tilt control. As a safety measure, shut off the power pack when the clamps and support legs shall be locked or loosened. When the rear clamps have been loosened, tilt the feed boom upwards at the rear end. The mounting frame enables adjustment within 180 degrees, from straight up to straight down. When the feed boom is at a proper angle, the support leg is locked so the equipment is secured in the desired position. Setup is completed by tightening the clamps. Rod running. Rod running is a summary of the steps required to add drill rods to extend the total rod length for drilling or removal of rods after finishing the drilling operation. When the unit is started for rod running, the selector level is set to low speed position, which gives the hydraulic motor higher torque and maximum displacement. When the jaws in the chuck open, the operator locks the chuck in the open position using the shutoff valve in the closed position, so a rod can be inserted. Then the jaws are opened in the rod holder at the front of the drill. With the shutoff valve in the closed position, the rod holder is also locked. Now it is possible to put the core barrel in place. The rod holder and chuck opened using the hydraulic system are closed and gripping the rod using spring action. With the selector level in the rod's in position, use the rod running lever to feed the rod in. A new rod is attached to the threads, and the rotation unit is then used carefully to tighten the rod joint. The rotation lever is pushed forward for clockwise rotation and the rod joint is tightened. The rotation unit is now in a floating position, so it can move forward following the pitch of the thread. Rod running, rods out. When the rod is to be extracted after drilling, the operator performs the rods out operation in the corresponding manner. Move the selector level to the rods out position. The rod is now extracted by the rotation unit using the same control as used earlier. To unthread the rod, pull the rotation lever backward. This starts the counterclockwise rotation that breaks the rod joint. The rotation unit is pushed backwards, using hydraulics to break rod joints, without putting strain on the threads. Drilling. When preliminary setup is complete and the rod is mounted, the main process begins, drilling and collecting core samples. The selector level for rotation speed is set to the high position and the functional lever to the drilling position. The water pump is started using the control for water flow. Set the flow to a suitable value. The level for regulating rotation is moved forward for clockwise rotation. The lever is then locked with a holder for the desired RPM. The level for drill feed is moved forward and locked in the corresponding manner in the position that gives the desired feed rate. Because the core barrel is longer than the feed boom's stroke, the rotation unit must be re-gripped after a full feeding stroke to complete the full core barrel. Wireline operation. Sandvik's wireline system is designed to quickly and easily take the inner tube out. The routine is adapted for careful handling of samples. The selector level is moved into the wireline position. The level at the hoist motor is moved to floating position so the cable can be pulled out freely when pumping the overshot in. To retrieve a core sample, the level on the hoist motor is moved from floating position to closed position. The wireline tilt control maneuvers the hoist that retrieves the core sample using the cable.